ever had an injury or surgery that was life-changing? I have, and this is my story. Hey everyone, welcome to one more episode of PJ Podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about my lower back surgery. This was a time which I thought was not going to be life-changing, but it was. I was my most vulnerable, and I did not want people to see that. I thought I was the superwoman that was able to do everything and not be in pain and not ask for help. I realized that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be in that position that I'm vulnerable and I need people around me. So I got lower back surgery. I had discectomy where they went in, shave off part of the disc that was compressing to my nerve about 7 months ago on August 23rd. This episode has launched on February 23rd, which marks 7 months of my surgery. I did not do it on purpose. I'm going to make this long story short of how this all happened and how I got to surgery. For many, many years, the doctor said it was genetics. I suffered a lot with feet pain, lower back pain, sciatica. I went to foot doctors that they wanted to operate me. I went to chiropractors. Everyone just said, oh, it's normal. At one point, I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, so on both feet. And I was getting sugar shots and cortisone shots. And I just kept doing Zumba, strong. I started doing Orange Theory. I was more like an athlete and I loved to work out. That was my therapy. So one day in 2021, I was in Zumba. I just came from Orange Theory. I guess I didn't stretch. Got to Zumba and I went on stage to help the instructor with one of the songs. I just put my foot down and all of a sudden I felt my calf pop. For some miracle reason, I jumped off the stage and hopped my way back to where I can sit. It was so scary because this has never happened to me, something like this. I couldn't put my foot on the floor. Thankfully, I had my friends in that class that were able to drive me home because it happened on my right leg. Of course, the leg that I need the most to drive. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just nothing. I'll stretch it out. My friend massaged it. It was very painful. And I was like, I'm going to sleep it out. The next day, unfortunately, I did not sleep it out and I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. I had to crawl to the bathroom. And I was home alone because my parents were away traveling. So I called my sister. I said, hey, I need help. Can you take me to the ER? So she took me and they said I had a calf muscle tear. They put me on crutches. They said usually calf muscle tear goes away by itself. You need some physical therapy, but you need to go to an orthopedic to get a referral. I was able to get an orthopedic that day. It's so crazy how these doctors work. I got an x-ray done and she said, well, there's a tear in there, but we can't really see it with the x-ray. And I was like, do you need me to get an MRI? No, you'll be fine. And I was supposed to be going to Portugal for 3 weeks. I work from home and I wanted to get away for a little bit. Asked the lady, am I able to do everything normal? She's like, yeah, 2 weeks will be fine. You'll be walking normal. I was on crutches. I started physical therapy and the therapist was specifically working on my calf, but I started to notice that my thigh was getting swollen and my back was killing me. He kept saying, well, you're compensating. So it's normal. I said, something in my body is telling me it's not normal. So listen to your body because you know your body more than the doctors know. I was like, all right, this is a month out. I'm still on crutches. And he's like, well, you're going to slowly get off 2 crutches, go to 1 crutch, and then go on a cane. I was like, excuse me, I'm going to be walking with the cane. I'm 28, 29 years old. What is going on? So I ended up cutting my trip short to Portugal. So instead of 3 weeks, I went for a week, and my friends came with me because they said, well, you can't go alone. You need help, getting the luggage and all this. I said, okay, fine. At that point, I was with the cane. I brought my friends around. I drove. I was working. I did Zumba because at the time I was filming for my TV show, Bom Dia com Pinky, on the Portuguese channel. And I was in so much pain. So I don't even know how I did it. My friends don't even know the pain I went through. I get back and the pain wasn't going away. I have a high tolerance of pain, but I was limping. When I say limping, I couldn't walk. So I finally found this place. They're called Performance Rehabilitation Center in Watchung. The best place I found. They cured me. If you are having a situation with your back, your arms, your legs, and you need physical therapy, I 1,000% recommend this place. So I started therapy with them. They did an MRI and they found out I had ankle tendonitis. So it's never plantar fasciitis. They did an ultrasound on my calf and they said, your calf is clear. I said, excuse me? My calf is what? I said, no. You guys, are you sure? They're like, yeah, there's nothing in your calf. I was like, then what is going on? They're like, oh, it's your lower back. I was like, how does my lower back get into my calf? I'm not comprehending. I did tests, I did MRIs, I did everything. Came to find out my disc was compressed into my nerve. That's why I was getting numbness, burning sensation, many times tingling, working out or something. I realized that my leg, I was telling my leg to do something and it wasn't connected. At that point, I was like, okay, maybe they're right. It could be like a nerve. I had 3 epidurals. I was going to physical therapy 3 times a week for almost over 2 hours. I did decompression of my back. I did therapy for my ankles. Thankfully, my ankles are cured. I did a PRP shot and I was good. My back took a little longer and then they're like, listen, we exhausted everything that we could. You most likely need surgery. And I said, no, I'm against it. I was like, I'm not going to get surgery. First of all, I'm young. This is a pain that older people go through because next to me will be like a 70, 80-year-old complaining the same pain I'm going through. So I'm like, why am I complaining the same thing as an older person? Meet with the surgeon and, go from there. So I met with the surgeon. I brought my mom. The surgeon was one of those doctors that wouldn't push for surgery, but they showed the MRI and they showed me proof as what was happening with my lower back. They said, if you don't get surgery, most likely there's going to be nerve damage and you might get paralyzed. And I just looked at them and I said, what? Excuse me. So I knew it was a little serious when he said that. I said, okay. He's like, you need surgery as soon as possible. This was in June, I believe. And I said, no, I'm a Zumba instructor. I need to go to Zumba convention. And that's in August. And I want to enjoy my summer because I had a lot of plans. I had Cancun, I had Portugal. I was busy. It's going to be on you. If you get nerve damage, it's all on you. And, we'll see what happens. So I said, okay, I'll do it in August. I don't think I realized how serious his surgery was because I was like, oh, it's only back surgery. To me, it's like, oh, whatever. Like, I'll be fine. I'm young. I'll come back within like a month. I try to mentally just prepare myself. I won't be able to do Zumba. I won't be able to work out. I went through the surgery and I still remember when I woke up and I was like, did anybody tell my mom that I'm okay? Because they didn't allow my mom to come in and I needed more drugs. So this was my first big surgery and I never went through anesthesia before except now. Everything was super new to me and I didn't know what to expect, right? You can mentally prepare yourself so much and then when you go through it, it's completely different what you thought. I am super grateful for my parents. They helped me out so much. Well, they made me walk when I came out of surgery right away, but when I got home, like the little things like brushing my teeth was painful. Pushing in my chair was painful. Sitting down to lay down, painful. Like my parents had to get me up. Like laying in bed for the first few days were horrible. Everything was cramping up. I was on painkillers and I said, no more painkillers. I was bloated. I was constipated, a little TMI. Back surgery went well. Everything's good. And I think everything hit me about a week after. That's when I started realizing, oh, wow, like this is not going to be something I could bounce back within a month. It's going to take a few months. And then that's when it started hitting me like, I can't work out. I can't go to my therapy, which was Zumba. I realized who my friends really were, like who was actually there for me during my darkest moments. It started to affect my mental health. I was feeling like worthless. I don't think I ever expressed how much pain I was in to anyone. Like I said, I'm not the type of person to open up about my feelings, but I would lash out. I would get angry because I would not talk about it. Some people have told me like, it's fine. Oh, it's going to go away. Well, you mentally prepare yourself, so you should be fine. Oh, they constantly compare themselves to me. And all I needed was a friend to be like, hey, if you need to vent, we're here. I was going through a roller coaster ride. I was going ups and downs. I hit depression, anxiety, because my body wasn't bouncing back how I wanted to be. But I'm learning to love the body that I have and to be thankful because it goes through so much without us even knowing. I also believe everything happens for a reason. The universe put this in my life because I needed to slow down. I needed to appreciate more of life, realize a lot of things about myself, be patient. Yes, I gained weight, about 10 to 15 pounds. It's normal. I went to food for emotional support. I wasn't moving as much, and that's going to be on another episode, which I talk about body image and self-esteem, which I did not have at all growing up. So this was another trigger to that. It was tough. It was a very dark moment for me. Hopefully I had some other friends they brought me have ice cream or go to the beach, like little things like that. And even my parents and my sisters, which I'm super grateful for. And this is when you live and you learn, right? But one thing I do have to say, it's like, start talking, start getting help, because I never wanted help. And then I went through a roller coaster. I started to get into depression. I started lashing out, started to get angry. But getting help is so beneficial to you. Living life to the fullest, enjoying every moment that we have on this earth is very important. If you are going through like an injury or a surgery, it could be the smallest thing to the biggest thing. I just want to let you know, like, just be positive. It's so hard to say and it's so hard to do, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you follow me on social media, on Instagram, I do tell a little bit of my recovery story while I was going through everything. So I know I said to stay positive and it's hard, but one way I was able to stay positive is, yes, I couldn't do Zumba, but I would go to these Zumba classes and I would just sit on a chair and I would actually do Zumba sentado. So that was one way I would keep my positivity. I wouldn't stop moving. I kept dancing no matter what. And like another thing, like with back surgery, no one knew I was going through it unless I had my cane, because it's not like a knee surgery or shoulder surgery that you have a cast. I didn't have a cast. I wasn't allowed to wear anything around. I was just so afraid to be walking. Someone just pushed me, because that's the world that we live in today. So just be kind. You're not alone in these situations. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let other people compare you to anything. People are just so judgmental. And if someone does, just let it go. Ignore it. You are who you are. There is life-changing experiences out there, and if you're going through one, I promise you're going to be okay. You're enough. You're worthy. And if you do need help, seek help. Start talking about your feelings. I started journaling, meditating. That also helped a lot. I'm not fully recovered now, but I am slowly getting there. I moved to a warmer place, which I think was very helpful. The cold was not working for me anymore. Me finally going to Zumba, my body's finally bouncing back the way I want to. I'm doing strong, I'm jumping, I'm running, and I'm doing stuff that makes me happy again. You're going to get back into it. I've known many people that have gone through surgeries and injuries, and they love to work out, and you can see that they go through a really dark moment because that was your outing, right? That was your therapy. Try not to go into that dark place. There is help. I went there, and unfortunately, I wish I didn't. I wish I did ask for help, because I'm not superwoman and none of us are perfect. Just smile, be positive, and stay tuned for more episodes with these inspiring stories. There's many that I think will help anyone that's going through a tough time.